I'm adding butter to the pan so that it won't stick, obviously. And we're gonna put our crepe on there. Hey, my future saints, I'm Ellie. Come take a trip around the world with me as we talk about the saints, learn about the saints, at the same time while discovering new flavors. My name is Ellie once again, and I'm starting a new little playlist, little show for you guys, while we're gonna be talking about different saints that are around the world while we pick one recipe from the country. The saint that we're gonna be doing tonight is Saint John Paul II. We're gonna be doing Polish crepes, and we're gonna start off, okay? So we're gonna start off with the regular crepe itself, and requires about 5 ingredients. From those we're gonna be doing, it's gonna be flour. We're gonna be using as well milk. It's pretty basic ingredients that you should have in your household. So, I mean, everyone would be able to accomplish it. Water, 1 egg, and some melted butter. So we're just gonna stir this all completely until it liquefies. There should be no lumps in there. You're gonna be using, if you're just gonna be using a whisk, you're going to be whisking for a very long time because it's very clumpy. But I will be using a blender. So once we're blending, everything should be incorporated. I'm sure these are the ingredients that St. John Paul had when he was growing up. So if you can see in the camera, it's a little clumpy. So that's how we're going to be turning it to the blender.
A few moments later.
All right, we're back, and when we are blending, it should be now liquefied. If you look inside of it, you should see no more clumps as how you did when we did the mixture itself. So there was clumps at the beginning, but after you blend it, then there should be no clumps. If you're gonna be doing it with the whisk, you're gonna take much more time, so I would suggest getting a blender. It's gonna save yourself some time. All right, as soon as you have your final mixture, which is right here, that one is your crepe itself. Now you're going to be working on the filling. Meanwhile that you're going to be working on the filling itself, we're going to put this one in the fridge for about a few 10 to 15 minutes so that it can incorporate together. It's not just all separate. It can incorporate together the flour and the liquids. While we're working on the filling, we're going to do, for the crepes itself, Polish crepes, it requires different types of fillings. It's up to your own choice. Me, myself, I love sweets. I mean, as you can tell, I love sweets. So we're gonna do a sweet cheese filling, but you can do savory items. You can saute some mushrooms, different vegetables, have it so that it can be savory to your taste. But I'm gonna be doing sweet. So we're gonna start off with ricotta cheese, ricotta. If you don't have ricotta cheese, you can also use dry curd or make your own farmer's cheese. It's up to your own preference, but we're gonna be using ricotta cheese. And if you can see that I am using, well, you can't see. I'm using a 1/4 cup of ricotta cheese. After that, you're gonna add some cream cheese. Have it softened, so if you have it in the fridge, take it out for a little bit, keep it out for a few moments, a little bit of time so that it can soften up and it's not so hard. You're gonna also add just the egg yolk, so make sure that you separate it correctly so that it's only the egg yolk, not the egg whites. We don't need the egg whites. You're gonna take 1 teaspoon of butter, some salt, some sugar to even it out, since we are making a sweet cheese filling, and some vanilla to give it some flavor. You're gonna mix it once again, just like how you did with the crepe. You're gonna mix it until it's all incorporated together. If you can see in it, it's still not as mushy as the other one, as the crepes one, but you still need to incorporate everything together until you don't have the grinding sound of the sugar, and until all the ricotta and the cream cheese is mixed together. If it was, and this is the reason why you should let it, the cream cheese to soften up so that you can mix better. If you need to transfer it, you can also transfer it into the blender, the food processor, if you had the cream cheese not softened good enough. So you should look at it. It should be everything mixed together. It should be some lumpy, since we did see the ricotta and it wasn't completely smooth out. And there you go. That's the final product. Meanwhile, that the crepes are cooking and are in the fridge, this as well needs to be in the fridge for the remainder time of the crepes. So we're gonna put this one in the fridge as well. All right, while we are waiting for our crepe and our cream cheese to cool a bit and incorporate all together. All right, now we're gonna talk about St. John Paul II. St. John Paul II was born in Poland, in a very small city in Poland. He grew up with his siblings, his mom and his dad. While growing up, St. John Paul II, maybe it was something was going on, something God had chosen for a reason. And the reason why I say that is because since he was very young, he kept going through many tragedies in his household. His mom passed away, his siblings passed away, all through different. Some of them were from illness, some of them were because they went to war and something occurred and they passed away. And he grew up in his teenage years with just mainly his dad and himself. At the age of 20, his dad passed away from a sickness. So such an early age of just 20 years old, and to have every loved one just pass away, I mean, that must be very difficult. We know we go through different times through tragedies. We have loved ones that pass away, and sometimes this causes us to fall into depression. It causes to fall into all these disorders. But St. John Paul II, on the contrary, at the age of 20, while all these tragedies were happening, he decided that he wanted to be a priest at such a young age. The complete opposite of what we normally see. We see sometimes that when somebody loses a loved one, they automatically go to drugs, to alcohol, to all these negative things. But he decided that this was a sign from God that he was supposed to be a priest. So he was he went through his path. He was becoming a priest, his path, and then slowly, surely, he was going out, traveling more. He was proclaiming the Catholic faith to different countries. He was known to travel a lot and go to different countries and proclaim that Catholic faith. And I think that we should just take that into an example. After he passed away in April 2005. And after he passed away, it was named that he did 2 miracles on 2 different women, cured them from different diseases. And after that was proven that he was the one that cured them from those, illnesses, that's when he was ordained a saint. As well, during his life, I mean, he was able to survive assassination. There was people who were trying to assassinate him, and he was able to overcome that. And I think that's just a big struggle, a big deal, because throughout his life he's going through all these tragedies as a teen, and then at 20 years old doesn't have any more immediate family to help him grow as his life is just starting. He's going on to priesthood. He's going through all these different places. He's proclaiming the Catholic faith. There's people who want to kill him, and yet he still continues with that strong faith. And that should be an inspiration for all of us. He is a patron saint of the youth. He's the patron saint of families. And I think St. John Paul II is just someone that we should keep looking up to help us grow in our faith. With that being said, we're going to go back to our crepes, so they should be good. So now they're all incorporated, they're all together. And we're gonna move on to the stove now, the cooking time. All right, so we're back here in the cooking section. All right, so what I'm doing at the moment, if you can see, I'm adding butter to the pan so that it won't stick, obviously. And we're gonna put our crepe on there. I know we made enough for just one, but you can always add more to it. You can double the quantity and you can make more out of it. So if you can see, we need to incorporate all of it. So in order to make the crepe, you need to slide it to all the sides so that it can get all this into a circular motion. So it should cook around maybe a few minutes in order so that it can cook at the bottom in order to flip and it'll be correct. It would be a good circle at the bottom of it. You should also see it bubbling. I mean, if you've done pancakes, pretty much the same concept of it. You should see it bubbling. If you can start seeing it, it's bubbling on the side. Once you see it start changing into a different color, then that's when it should be ready to start turning. Okay, we can see that it's becoming to be a circle. Obviously, if you mess up, not the complete circle, it's okay. Majority of it's gonna end up being in our mouth either way. So the circle doesn't really matter much, but as long as it's a very thin, like pancake shape, then that's what you're aiming for. It should be slightly brown to the other side, meaning that it's getting cooked. You just leave it on the other side for a few more minutes and it should be ready to go. You can turn it one more time to see if it's cooked for the other side as well. And as soon as you see it that it's brown on the same side, you can get your plate that you wish. And you just transfer it. Make sure you turn off your stove and we head back to our cooking area. All right, so once you have it here, once again, this can be made with any filling of your choice. It's up to you completely. We made the sweet cheese filling, so you can add as much as you wish. Once again, like I said, I love sweet things, so I'm gonna do a generous amount for myself. And then you just get it from one side, you flip it, and you flip it one more time. And there you go. That is your polished crepe. You can add a little bit of powdered sugar at the top. If not, then however you may wish. Add some fruit maybe on top. It's honestly up to your choice. This is a very creatable type of dish, up to your liking. And here you go.